Chapter 1756. Everyone was shocked by Lu Ming's combat strength. As for Qin Yi, his eyes flickered with jealousy. Previously, Lu Ming had embarrassed him in front of Huang Ling. Now, he was in the limelight again, overshadowing all the other sky prides. This made him extremely jealous. He secretly hated that he was not the one in the limelight. It seems that this brat is interested in Huang Ling. I'm afraid that Huang Ling has taken a fancy to this brat too. Humph, I won't let you get what you want. Qin Yi's eyes flickered with a cold light. He was fighting with the 9th prince of the Golden Crow. At this moment, he deliberately shook his body and retreated frantically, exposing Huang Ling to the 9th prince's attack. Oh no! Lu Ming and Mu Qingxue were shocked. With Qin Yi's combat strength, it was not a problem for him to block the 9th prince of the Golden Crow. However, he was actually pushed back by the 9th prince of the Golden Crow. This was not normal, but there was no time to think about it. Huang Ling, get out of here! The 9th prince of the Golden Crow roared. His golden wings flapped out like blades towards Huang Ling. Huang Ling could not counterattack. She could only defend herself. Boom! The undying flame on Huang Ling's body shook violently, as if it was about to be shattered. Huang Ling's delicate body shook violently. She could not help but take a few steps back. She spat out a mouthful of blood and her face turned pale. Kill! The 9th prince of the Golden Crow shouted. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. A violent attack poured down on Huang Ling. Huang Ling. Mu Qingxue was anxious. However, she was entangled by her opponent and could not help at all. You're courting death. At this moment Lu Ming roared. Spots of light lit up on his body, and sacred weapons appeared one after another. The sacred weapons and combat weapon Qi linked up, and shot up into the sky like pillars of light. With a thought, Lu Ming sent out a great sacred weapon battle sword. It pierced towards the 9th prince of the Golden Crow, making a terrifying whistling sound. The Golden Crow 9th prince was shocked. He did not expect Lu Ming to have the energy to attack him, while he was fighting the 4 geniuses. At this moment, he flapped his wings and a sun appeared, wanting to block Lu Ming's sword gleam. However, it was useless. The battle sword pierced through the sun, and pierced through one of the 9th Crown Prince's wings. The terrifying power pushed the 9th Crown Prince back, almost tearing off one of his wings. 10,000 weapon art? How do you know the 10,000 weapon art? Wan Tianlong shouted in disbelief. Huang Jian and the others were also shocked. Lu Ming actually knew the Wan clan's 10,000 weapons art. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long roar. The sacred weapons rained down on the 9th prince like a storm. The 9th prince fought back with all his might, but in the next moment, there were wounds on his body. Golden feathers scattered in the air. Wang! Lu Ming controlled the Taiji disc array, and emitted a resplendent brilliance, suppressing the desolate sword. Desolate Sword held the iron sword with both hands as it soared through the air, clashing with the Taiji disc array. Primal Chaos Finger. Lu Ming's finger circulated the law of primal chaos. He pointed out, and a huge finger was formed. It was like the finger of a deity, destroying and suppressing everything. The 18% primal chaos finger exploded with full force. The finger's target was still Desolate Sword. Desolate Sword's eyes turned solemn. He roared and his body was covered with iron swords. Dong! The primal chaos finger tapped on the iron sword. Desolate Sword's body shook violently and flew back. He landed at the bottom of the jade staircase with blood flowing out from the corner of his mouth. The others were shocked. Lu Ming was too powerful. He had injured the 9th prince and Desolate Sword consecutively. He was like an undefeatable god of war. The remaining few people could not help but retreat. They looked at Lu Ming solemnly and stopped attacking. Lu Ming, how did you cultivate the 10,000 weapons art? Wan Tianlong stared at Lu Ming and shouted coldly. Lu Ming smiled faintly and did not answer. Legend has it that the law of primal chaos has a myriad of transformations, and can turn into a myriad of laws. Other than some sovereign laws and ultimate laws, everything else can be transformed. It is not surprising that you have cultivated the 10,000 weapons art. Desolate Sword wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said, This person is really the son of primal chaos. The purple-robed young man said with a solemn look. Huang Bing, you can only rely on yourself now. We have tried our best. Desolate Sword shook his head and sheathed his combat sword. He sat down cross-legged and started to heal his injuries. The purple-robed young man moved and retreated. Apparently, he had given up on stopping Huang Ling. Lu Ming was too powerful, and his combat strength was unparalleled. Even with so many of them working together, it was useless. They had tried their best. They were only here to help. There was no need to risk their lives. Wan Tianlong's gaze was very cold. He swept a few glances at Lu Ming, and then retreated. Keep! Lu Ming waved his hand, and the sacred weapons flew back into Lu Ming's body. At that moment, the Golden Crow Ninth Prince was in a miserable state. He was covered in blood, and almost all of his golden feathers had fallen off. He had become a hairless crow. The others looked at the Golden Crow Ninth Prince with a strange expression. They wanted to laugh, but were too embarrassed to do so. Ah, Lu Ming, I want you dead. The Golden Crow Ninth Prince roared hysterically. Humiliation. This was a great humiliation. The Golden Crows were known as the divine beasts of the sun. They were extremely arrogant. In ancient times, they had once competed with the true dragons and phoenixes. They were definitely a top divine beast. But now, as the Golden Crow Crown Prince, he had been stripped naked by Lu Ming in front of everyone. This was a blatant humiliation. How dare a sick bird make a fuss? Looks like we will have roasted bird meat today. Lu Ming's eyes were cold as he stared at the Golden Crow Ninth Prince. The Golden Crow Ninth Prince was exuding a cold aura, as he retreated frantically. Fear flashed in his eyes. A normal bird. You really don't have any guts. Hurry up and get lost. Lu Ming scolded as he stepped forward. He came to Huang Ling's side and glanced coldly at Qin Yi. Qin Yi's face darkened. At that moment, Huang Kong and Huang Bing's faces darkened. Lu Ming's combat strength had far exceeded their expectations. It was impossible for them to push Huang Ling down. They could only rely on themselves. The cries of phoenixes rang out continuously, as Huang Ling and the others moved forward bravely. But as time passed, Huang Ling's advantage grew. Her speed did not change, but Huang Kong and Huang Bing's speed became slower and slower. They could only watch as Huang Ling got closer to the top of the mountain. A few hours later, Huang Ling stepped onto the top of the mountain. When Huang Ling stepped onto the top of the mountain, a flaming phoenix on her body let out a long cry and shot into the sky. Her aura skyrocketed. She broke through. Everyone was shocked. When she stepped onto the top of the mountain, Huang Ling's cultivation had broken through to the peak of the bright Saint Realm. It seemed that the Jade Staircase was not only a trial for the disciples of the Phoenix Palace, but also an opportunity. Huang Bing, Huang Kong, and Huang Xian stopped and let out a long sigh. They knew that they had lost this competition. Huang Ling's aura skyrocketed. After a while she retracted it. At that moment, the parasol tree's leaves fell and formed a phoenix. Chapter 1757. Soon after, Huang Ling descended from the sky above the parasol tree. Huang Ling, how is it? Did you get the heart of the parasol tree? Lu Ming asked. I got it. Huang Ling nodded. That's great. Mu Qingxue jumped up in excitement. Huang Kong, Huang Bing, and the others were envious, but that was all. They could no longer fight for the heart of Wudong. This time, many important figures from Phoenix Palace would be watching. The competition before was nothing, but now that Huang Ling had obtained the heart of Wudong, they would be punished if they fought for it. Congratulations, Huang Ling. Huang Bing smiled and congratulated Huang Ling to express her goodwill. Now that Huang Ling had obtained the heart of the parasol tree, her position in Phoenix Palace would be higher in addition to her terrifying talent. She might be able to compete with more powerful elites in the future. Since she had lost, she naturally had to build a good relationship with Huang Ling. Thank you. Huang Ling smiled. Humph. Huang Kong groaned coldly. Then he left without stopping. The strong cultivator that he had invited also left with him. Sister Huang Ling, I'll take my leave first. Huang Bing smiled and left with Huang Jian and the rest. Then Huang Xian and the rest also left. In an instant, only Huang Ling and the other three were left. Congratulations, Huang Ling. Through our efforts, we have finally helped you obtain the heart of the parasol tree. This trip was not in vain. Qin Yi said with a smile. Our efforts. Bah. Qin Yi, You still have the cheek to say that. Did you purposely let the 9th prince of the Golden Crow tribe injure Huang Ling? Mu Qingxue was unhappy, and said with a sullen face. Mu Qingxue, what do you mean? I purposely let the 9th prince win? Don't accuse me without evidence. Qini said. Humph, you know whether you did it or not. Mu Qingxue snorted and then took Huang Ling's hand and said, Huang Ling, let's go. We don't have to care about such a despicable person. This kind of person is two-faced and two-faced. It's too dangerous to be close to him. Huang Ling smiled and then looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, let's go. All right. Lu Ming nodded and walked side by side with Huang Ling and Mu Qingxue, heading back the way they came. Lu Ming and Huang Ling didn't even look at Qini. Damn it. Qini gnashed his teeth as a vicious look flashed across his eyes. Then he left as well. Not long after, they returned to the exit. After stepping into the vortex, they left. Huang Ling, congratulations on obtaining the heart of the parasol tree. When Lu Ming and the others came out, the old man from before said with a smile, Elder, you're too polite. Huang Ling bowed slightly. Yes, Huang Ling, the palace master wants to see you. I'll bring you there. The old man in the lead said, Palace master. Huang Ling's eyes lit up, and she said, Elder, Lu Ming also has something he wants to talk to the palace lord about. Can you bring him along to see the palace lord? Take him with us? I'll have to report this matter to the palace master, and see what he thinks. Elder Wei said. Then I'll have to trouble you, Elder. Huang Ling bowed. Elder Wei took out a voice transmission jade talisman, and sent a message. Not long after, a smile appeared on his face and he said, The palace master has agreed to see him. Come with me. Elder Wei stepped into the air and left. Lu Ming and Huang Ling followed him while Mu Qingxue went back alone. Not long after, they came to a grand hall. In the hall, a beautiful woman in palace attire sat. She had a kind face and a faint smile. She didn't emit any aura, but when Lu Ming approached her, his heart couldn't help but pound. His muscles tensed up, and even his soul trembled slightly. How terrifying! Lu Ming was shocked. The other party's strength was absolutely earth-shattering, and had reached an unimaginable realm. Just by approaching her and not emitting any aura, Lu Ming automatically felt a terrifying pressure. Was this the palace master of Phoenix Palace? There was no doubt that she was an emperor-level figure. Moreover, she was extremely terrifying among emperor-level figures. Greetings, palace master. The elder bowed respectfully. Huang Ling greets the palace master. Huang Ling also bowed. Junior Lu Ming greets the palace master. Lu Ming also cupped his fists. The palace master of Phoenix Palace nodded and said to the elder, You may leave. Yes. The elder retreated. Then, the palace master of Phoenix Palace looked at Huang Ling, and the smile on her face widened. Huang Ling, you're very good. You really didn't disappoint me. Thank you, palace master. However, it was all thanks to Lu Ming's help that Huang Ling was able to obtain the heart of the parasol tree this time. After Huang Ling finished speaking, she took out a piece of wood with a phoenix dancing on it. It was extremely mysterious. This was the heart of the parasol tree. The palace master of Phoenix Palace waved her hand and put away the heart of the parasol tree. Huang Ling, if there's anything you don't understand in the future, feel free to look for me. Then, she looked at Lu Ming and said, Little guy, I heard that you're looking for me. What's the matter? Palace master, it's because of the evil spirit sect. Lu Ming said, Evil spirit sect? The palace master of Phoenix Palace raised her brows. It's like this. Then, Lu Ming recounted how the evil spirit sect had taken over Tsang State and killed Emperor Yin. Finally, he expressed that he wanted to ask Phoenix Palace to send experts to eliminate the evil spirit sect. The palace master of Phoenix Palace frowned and pondered for a moment before saying, Little guy, I'm afraid it's very difficult for me to agree to your request. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat as he asked anxiously, Palace master, why is that? Little guy, there's no harm in telling you. Some time ago, we discovered traces of an evil spirit sect vice sect master in the ancient moon sacred ground, said the palace master of Phoenix Palace. Evil spirit sect vice sect master. Lu Ming and Huang Ling were shocked. Legend had it that the evil spirit sect vice sect master was a peerless and invincible figure. Who would have thought that such a figure was still alive and had reappeared? Therefore, during this period of time, I have to focus my attention on the evil spirit sect vice sect master. There's another reason. Right now, the ancient moon sacred ground is very complicated, and the competition is getting more and more intense. According to what you said, there are at least 2 or 3 emperor-level figures in the evil spirit sect and the D clan. In order to eliminate the other party, we have to send at least twice as many emperor-level experts as the other party. Only then can we guarantee that we can eliminate the other party. Once Phoenix Palace sends out so many emperor-level experts, its own strength will be weakened, and it will give other factions an opportunity to take advantage of it. Therefore, it's very difficult for me to agree to this condition, said the palace master of Phoenix Palace. I see. Lu Ming sighed. He had long known that it would not be so easy to ask for help from the powerful ancient moon sacred ground. These factions would first consider their own interests. If it would harm their own strength, they would most likely not agree. Just like what the palace master of Phoenix Palace had said. If Phoenix Palace sent out so many emperor-level experts, its strength would weaken and give other factions an opportunity to take advantage of it. Chapter 1758. Lu Ming sighed inwardly. It seemed that it was better to rely on oneself than on others. As long as one was strong, there was no need to seek help from others. Master, please bear with it for a while. Once I'm strong enough, I'll definitely return to save you. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly. Little guy, change your condition. I'll do my best to fulfill it. Phoenix Palace's palace master said, seemingly feeling apologetic. Lu Ming composed himself and said, Palace master, I've killed a few thousand Slayer sect assassins and have the other party's killing mark on me. Senior, can you help me get rid of it? With the 1,000 Slayer sect's mark on him, he would be sensed by the other party within a certain range. If he encountered another 1,000 Slayer sect member, he would definitely be annoyed and would have to be on guard against being assassinated every day. That's easy. Phoenix Palace's palace master waved her hand, and a ray of light enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming felt his entire body warm up. Then he saw a wisp of gray energy emerging from Lu Ming's body, constantly twisting and turning. It was very strange. This was the killing mark. Phoenix Palace's palace master gently pinched it, and the killing mark turned to dust. All right, the killing mark has been removed. Also, you've helped Huang Ling greatly this time, and helped her obtain the heart of the parasol tree. You're a friend of Phoenix Palace, and can stay in Phoenix Palace for a while longer. You can also freely enter some of Phoenix Palace's sacred cultivation grounds. Phoenix Palace's palace master smiled. Thank you, palace master. Lu Ming cupped his fists in gratitude. Although the other party did not agree to send experts to eliminate the remaining evil spirit sect members, the other party was an overlord and a arch-expert. Lu Ming could not continue asking. All right, you may leave. Let Huang Ling show you around. Phoenix Palace's palace master said. Then, Lu Ming and Huang Ling bade farewell and left. Lu Ming, I'm sorry. Huang Ling said embarrassedly on the way back. It's nothing. Senior Palace Master also has to consider Phoenix Palace. I can understand. Lu Ming smiled. He knew that Huang Ling was referring to the fact that the Palace Master of Phoenix Palace did not send any experts to help. Lu Ming, there are some decent cultivation grounds in Phoenix Palace. I'll bring you around in a few days. You can stay in Phoenix Palace for a while. Huang Ling said. Lu Ming nodded. The two of them chatted for a while before parting ways. Lu Ming returned to his residence. After returning to the courtyard, Lu Ming released Bubble and let her play around by herself. Lu Ming went into seclusion to cultivate. A few days passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, 2 forces arrived at Phoenix Palace. These 2 forces were the Golden Crow clan and the Wan clan. A quasi-emperor from Phoenix Palace welcomed him. I wonder why the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan have come to Phoenix Palace. The quasi-emperor of Phoenix Palace asked. It's very simple. The Wan clan is here to ask Phoenix Palace for a person. An elder from the Wan clan spoke. Behind him were several middle-aged men and several youths. One of them was Wan Tianlong. My Golden Crow clan also wants a person from Phoenix Palace. The one who spoke was a middle-aged man dressed in golden robes. His eyes were cold and his aura was oppressive. There were several people behind this middle-aged man, including several youths. The 9th prince of the Golden Crow clan was among them. The Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor's expression darkened. What a joke! You two actually came to Phoenix Palace to ask for a person. Brother Huang, there's no need to be angry. The person my Wang clan wants is not a disciple of Phoenix Palace, but a youth called Lu Ming. He is currently staying in Phoenix Palace. The Wang clan elder said. Lu Ming. The Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor frowned. He knew that there was a youth called Lu Ming, who was staying in Phoenix Palace. However, he was a guest of Phoenix Palace on the orders of the palace master. The person my Golden Crow clan wants is also this person, Lu Ming. The middle-aged man from the Golden Crow clan said coldly. Everyone, I'm afraid this won't do. Lu Ming is a guest of Phoenix Palace. Since he is a guest of Phoenix Palace, we must ensure his safety. The Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor said. Brother Huang, you'd better consider this carefully. My Wang clan is determined to obtain Lu Ming. This person cultivates our Wang clan's 10,000 weapon art. My Wang clan will not allow this. The Wang clan elder said coldly. This matter is non-negotiable. I've already said that since Lu Ming is a guest of Phoenix Palace, he is a guest of Phoenix Palace. If we hand Lu Ming over to you, what will others think of Phoenix Palace in the future? Everyone please go back. The Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor said with an unyielding attitude. The Wang clan and Golden Crow clan's people had cold expressions. They had not expected Phoenix Palace to insist on protecting Lu Ming and not hand him over. However, the Wang clan head had instructed that Lu Ming could not be left alive. The Wang clan's 10,000 weapon art could not be cultivated by an outsider. Lu Ming, get out here! The Wang clan elder suddenly roared. His voice reverberated throughout the entire Phoenix Palace. Impudent! What are you doing? The Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor shouted, his expression changing. The other party was too impudent. How dare he shout in Phoenix Palace? At that moment, most of the people in Phoenix Palace were alarmed. Lu Ming was cultivating when he was startled awake by this shout. Who's there? Lu Ming's expression darkened as he looked in the direction of the voice. Then, he soared into the air and rapidly flew in that direction. Soon, a large hall appeared before his eyes. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, many figures also flew in this direction. Lu Ming! A delicate voice called out. It was Huang Ling. She had also appeared here. Lu Ming, the Wang clan and Golden Crow clan are here. They want Phoenix Palace to hand you over. Huang Ling hurriedly transmitted her voice to Lu Ming. The Wang clan and Golden Crow clan. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he walked toward the large hall. As he approached the large hall, he saw two groups of people hovering in the air outside the hall. They were the Wang clan and Golden Crow clan. He's Lu Ming. Wan Tianlong pointed at Lu Ming. The Wang clan and Golden Crow clan's people simultaneously looked at Lu Ming. Brat, you're Lu Ming. Now follow me back to the Wang clan. The Wang clan has something to answer to you. The Wang clan elder said coldly in a commanding tone. It was as if Lu Ming had to do as he said. I have nothing to answer to the Wang clan. Moreover, I'm living very well in Phoenix Palace. I have no interest in going to the Wang clan with you. Lu Ming said. The Wang clan elder's face darkened, and a sharp glint flashed across his eyes. Brat, don't play dumb. You've cultivated the Wang clan's art of 10,000 weapons. You must answer for this. The Wang clan's art of 10,000 weapons does not allow outsiders to cultivate it. Unless you destroy your own cultivation, the Wang clan will not pursue this matter. Ho ho, so this is the reason. Then, why is the Golden Crow clan looking for me? Lu Ming looked at the Golden Crow clan's people. You must be punished for insulting the Golden Crow clan. The Golden Crow clan's middle-aged man's reply was simple. Ha ha ha, what a joke. This is the biggest joke in the world. Chapter 1759. Kid, what did you say? The Wan family elder's eyes shone brightly. The eyes of the middle-aged man from the Golden Crow clan turned golden and sharp. Firstly, the Wan family. Let me ask you, other than the 10,000 soldier art, does the Wan family cultivate other martial skills and cultivation techniques? Lu Ming's voice was powerful, and he was not afraid at all. Nonsense, of course we cultivate, the Wan family elder said. Since you cultivate, are the cultivation techniques and martial skills that the Wan family cultivates are all created by the Wan family? Aren't you just taking other people's cultivation techniques? As for the 10,000 weapon art that I cultivate, I obtained it when someone from your Wan clan tried to kill me in the 100 clan battlefield. I killed him, and took the 10,000 weapon art. This is my spoils of war. If your Wan clan can cultivate other people's cultivation methods and martial skills, why can't I cultivate the 10,000 weapon art? Lu Ming's clear voice resounded throughout the area, leaving the Wan family speechless. If they could cultivate other people's cultivation techniques and martial skills, why couldn't Lu Ming cultivate the Wan family's 10,000 soldier art? And you guys, you're here for the Golden Crow 9th Prince, right? That's even more ridiculous. He lost in a battle of the same generation, and came to find me. Then you Golden Crows shouldn't come out. Otherwise, if you're defeated by others, all the old and big ones will come to find you. Lu Ming looked at the Golden Crow clan, causing the 9th Prince's face to turn red. You can defeat him, but you shouldn't humiliate the Crown Prince of the Golden Crow clan. The middle-aged man from the Golden Crow clan looked even colder. Humiliate? Ridiculous. I only stripped him of his fur. In a battle, swords have no eyes. How can I control it so well? Lu Ming said. Excuses. Today, you must come with me to the Golden Crow clan. The middle-aged man from the Golden Crow clan said forcefully. That's right. It doesn't matter how glib your tongue is. Let me tell you, I don't care about other cultivation techniques and martial skills. But you can't cultivate the 10,000 soldier art. You must destroy it. The Wan family elder said in an even more overbearing manner. Haha, goodbye. Lu Ming sneered. He could not be bothered to waste his breath, and turned to leave. The Wan family and the Golden Crow clan were unreasonable. So why should he say anything more? You want to leave? Stay. The old man from the Wan clan shouted, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. That was the aura of a quasi-emperor. It was incomparably powerful, and it pressed down on Lu Ming. Instantly, Lu Ming felt an irresistible pressure pressing down on him, as though he was about to explode. Enough! A look of displeasure flashed across the Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor's face. With a wave of her hand, a powerful aura rushed out and blocked the aura of the Wan clan elder. Lu Ming relaxed and let out a long breath. A quasi-emperor was too strong. It was not something he could resist at all. This is Phoenix Palace. You've gone too far. The Phoenix Palace quasi-emperor said coldly. A few more elders from Phoenix Palace descended from the sky and glared at the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan with unfriendly eyes. Is Phoenix Palace really going to offend my Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan because of this Lu Ming? The old man from the Wan clan said in a deep voice. Lu Ming is a guest of Phoenix Palace. Since he's a guest of Phoenix Palace, he can't be taken away by you. The quasi-emperor of Phoenix Palace also became more aggressive. The people from the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan had ugly expressions. Lu Ming, if you have the ability, hide in Phoenix Palace forever and never come out. A youth from the Wan clan said. This person was dressed in a purple gold robe and exuded a noble aura. His aura was even more extraordinary than Wan Tianlong's. What a joke. What else can your Wan clan rely on other than the older generation? If they're of the same generation as me, I'll crush them all on sight. Lu Ming replied forcefully. Arrogant. You don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Very well, I'll challenge you now. If you lose, you'll cripple your own cultivation. Do you dare fight me? The youth from the Wan clan said with a cold glint in his eyes. Lu Ming, don't accept his challenge. This person is called Wan Tianbing. He has a middle-grade heaven spiritual body, and his cultivation has reached the peak of the bright sage realm. He's many times stronger than Wan Tianlong. Huang Ling hurriedly sent a message to Lu Ming. Wan Tianbing was very famous among the younger generation of the ancient moon sacred ground. He had a middle-grade heaven spiritual body, and there were only a few youths in the ancient moon sacred ground. Middle-grade heaven spiritual body? Lu Ming sneered. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit as he said, "All right, I accept your challenge. However, I'm afraid that if I defeat you, a bunch of old men from the Wang clan will come and find trouble with me. Don't worry. If you win, the Wang clan will not interfere with your cultivation of the 10,000 weapon art," the elder from the Wang clan said. He seemed to be very confident in Wan Tianbing. All right. Then Lu Ming looked at the Golden Crow clan and said, "What about you? Is there anyone who wants to challenge me? I'll accept all of your challenges." "I'll challenge you." A youth beside the 9th prince of the Golden Crow clan walked out with an arrogant look on his face. "Lu Ming, this is the 6th prince of the Golden Crow clan. His strength and talent are on par with Wan Tianbing's." Huang Ling hurriedly sent a message to Lu Ming. "All right, you and Wan Tianbing can come at me together. I'm too lazy to fight one by one. I'll deal with all of you together," Lu Ming said. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone present was dumbfounded. Lu Ming wanted to fight the 6th prince of the Golden Crow clan, and Wan Tianbing at the same time? The 6th prince of the Golden Crow clan, and Wan Tianbing, were famous among the younger generation of the ancient moon sacred ground. They had middle-class heaven spiritual bodies, and were almost invincible among those of the same level. And now, Lu Ming wanted to fight both of them at the same time. Haha, arrogant, really arrogant. I've seen arrogant people, but I've never seen such arrogant people. Wan Tianbing laughed mockingly. Nonsense. Do you dare to accept my challenge? Just say it. If you don't, then get lost. Lu Ming scolded. All right, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. 6th prince, what about you? Wan Tianbing said coldly, as he looked at the 6th prince of the Golden Crow clan. Since he wants to die, I'll fulfill his wish. Since so many people have seen it, I don't want them to say that we're bullying him with numbers. The 6th prince of the Golden Crow clan said coldly. All right, but I'll set the time. Lu Ming said. You can set the time. If you set it 100 years later or 1,000 years later, how can we compete? Wan Tianbing sneered. How about the battle at Lake Phoenix a month later? Lu Ming said. A month later? All right, I agree. I agree too. Wan Tiancheng, and the 6th prince of the Golden Crow clan, said one after another. Could Lu Ming turn the tables in a month? Moreover, they had to join forces. Lu Ming had no hope of winning. They had heard about Lu Ming's performance in the Phoenix Nest. However, they had middle-class heaven spiritual bodies, and had reached the perfect bright divine realm. Their superpowers were powerful, and could easily crush those of the same level, such as Huang Jian. Therefore, they didn't take Lu Ming seriously at all. Even if they were alone, they were confident that they could suppress Lu Ming, let alone the two of them. Since Lu Ming was hiding in the Phoenix Palace, they would use the challenge to kill Lu Ming. Let's fight at Lake Phoenix a month later. Everyone please. Lu Ming waved his sleeves and turned to leave. Chapter 1760. Lu Ming, you're being too impulsive. If you stay at the Phoenix Palace, they won't be able to do anything to you. Huang Ling caught up to Lu Ming and said worriedly, It's fine. My cultivation is about to have a breakthrough. I might be able to fight them. Lu Ming said. After cultivating for such a long time, Lu Ming's cultivation was very close to the greater success stage of the bright sacred realm. He would be able to achieve the greater success stage of the bright sacred realm after some time. Once he achieved the greater success stage of the bright sacred realm, his strength would improve further. This was the reason why he suggested to fight in a month's time. A month was enough for him to have a breakthrough. Oh, I see. Lu Ming, I'll bring you to a place that might give you a better chance in a month's time. Huang Ling said. Where is it? The mystical jade disc, a sacred cultivation ground of the Phoenix Palace. It can help one to cultivate their mystical skills. However, everyone only has one chance in their life. It depends on one's comprehension. The higher one's comprehension, the greater the benefits. Huang Ling said. The mystical jade disc? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Huang Ling brought Lu Ming to a huge cave. The entrance of the cave was guarded by experts of the Phoenix Palace. However, the palace master of the Phoenix Palace had mentioned that Lu Ming could enter some sacred cultivation grounds to cultivate. Thus, No one stopped him, and he entered the cave smoothly. Inside the cave was a huge stone chamber. On one side of the chamber was a huge jade disc that was over 100 meters long and wide. The jade disc was as smooth as a mirror, reflecting one's reflection. This is the mystical jade disc. Lu Ming, execute your mystical skills and attack the jade disc. It will do, Huang Ling said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. He sat down with his legs crossed and executed the chaotic calamity finger. A giant finger pointed at the mystical jade disc. Lu Ming did not hold back. Huang Ling had told him clearly that the jade disc was extremely magical. No mystique could harm the jade disc. As expected, when the primal chaos tribulation finger touched the jade wall, it was like a stone sinking into the ocean. It directly disappeared. In the next moment, Lu Ming discovered that the jade wall was emitting a resplendent light. It was as if there was a terrifying power acting on Lu Ming, pulling Lu Ming towards the jade wall. Lu Ming's body directly entered the jade disc and disappeared. Lu Ming seemed to have passed through layers of voids and arrived in the starry sky of the universe. Boom! Suddenly, the starry sky rumbled, and an incomparably huge finger formed. The color of primal chaos lingered on it, and it was even bigger than a star. It pointed at Lu Ming. Primal chaos tribulation finger. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. However, this chaos tribulation finger was too powerful and mysterious. It was dozens or even hundreds of times more powerful than what Lu Ming had displayed. It can actually increase the power of my mystique by so many times. Amazing, really amazing, Lu Ming exclaimed in his heart. His eyes were fixed on the primal chaos tribulation finger. Boom! The primal chaos tribulation finger pointed at Lu Ming's body. Lu Ming's mind rumbled, and a huge primal chaos tribulation finger seemed to have appeared in his mind. Lu Ming could not help but close his eyes and focus on comprehending the primal chaos tribulation finger. Time flew by. Day after day passed. In the blink of an eye, 25 days had passed. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly opened his eyes and found that he was still sitting cross-legged on the mystical jade disc. Huang Ling was also sitting beside him. Obviously, she was waiting for him. Lu Ming, you're awake. I didn't expect you to be able to comprehend it for 25 days. Huang Ling blinked her eyes in surprise. Has it been 25 days? Lu Ming said in a low voice. Yes, when others come to the mystical jade disc, they usually wake up within 10 days. Back then, I only took 20 days. I didn't expect you to have 5 more days than me. How is it? How is the effect? Huang Ling asked. Not bad. My cultivation base has also broken through unknowingly. Lu Ming smiled. He found that his cultivation base had broken through and reached the great success stage of the Bright Sage realm, while he was comprehending the primal chaos tribulation finger. The mystical jade disc is really amazing. It's a pity that each person only has one chance in their life. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. After 25 days of comprehension, the primal chaos tribulation finger had increased from 18% to 33%. It had increased by 15%. It was very difficult to improve a mystique art. It required a lot of time to comprehend it, especially in the later stages. Many senior figures and absolute saints would usually spend thousands, or even tens of thousands of years, to improve by 10%. As for the primal chaos tribulation finger, it was even more difficult to improve. It was several times more difficult than a mystique art that was based on ordinary laws. Being able to improve by 15% had saved Lu Ming a lot of time. However, each person only had one chance to use the mystical jade disc. It would not be effective the second time. Otherwise, it would be heaven-defying. Are you confident in dealing with the 6th Golden Crow Prince and Wan Tianbing? Huang Ling asked. Of course, Lu Ming smiled and said. You care about me that much? Huang Ling blushed slightly and said. You are my friend. Of course I care about you. After saying that, he walked out. Lu Ming smiled and followed Huang Ling out of the cave. Then, Lu Ming returned to his residence. There were still 5 days left. He could consolidate his cultivation base and cultivate the 10,000 weapon art at the same time. If his cultivation base increased, he could seal more sacred weapons. Lu Ming took out a great sacred weapon and started to seal it. In a secret room in the Wan family, Wan Tianbing was also sealing a sacred weapon. The difference was that he was not sealing a great sacred weapon, but an absolute sacred weapon. His entire body glowed, and a spot of light shone brightly. Beside him, an elder sat cross-legged, exuding a terrifying aura. This person was an emperor-level expert. An absolute sacred weapon floated in the elder's hand. The elder was helping Wan Tianbing seal the absolute sacred weapon. With Wan Tianbing's cultivation base, he could not seal the absolute sacred weapon at all. His body would be torn apart by the terrifying aura of the absolute sacred weapon. However, with the help of an emperor-level expert, it was different. An emperor-level expert could help him consolidate his acupoints and help him seal the absolute sacred weapon. 2 days later, Wan Tianbing succeeded in sealing the absolute sacred weapon. Tianbing, although I have helped you seal it successfully, the absolute sacred weapon is too powerful. You can't use it for too long, or it will be harmful to your body. You have to use it carefully. The emperor-level elder instructed. Yes, Patriarch. Wan Tianbing bowed, and a sharp light flashed in his eyes. Lu Ming was doomed this time. There was no chance at all. At the same time, the Golden Crow 6th Prince was also undergoing some kind of secret cultivation. This time, the news of Lu Ming's battle with the Golden Crow 6th Prince and Wan Tianbing spread throughout the ancient moon sacred ground. The cause and effect were also dug up and spread like wildfire. Many people were paying attention. Lu Ming cultivated the Wan family's 10,000 weapon art. Lu Ming plucked all the feathers of the Golden Crow 9th Prince. This was the cause of the conflict. Therefore, the Wan family and the Golden Crow clan paid special attention to this. They could only win, not lose. Chapter 1761. The mountain where Phoenix Palace was located was called Phoenix Mountain. There was a lake at the edge of Phoenix Mountain called Phoenix Lake. On this day, Phoenix Lake was crowded with people early in the morning. Someone had challenged 2 outstanding sky prides of the ancient moon sacred ground. Many people were curious as to who would be so bold to challenge 2 sky prides at the same time. How powerful was this person? Many young sky prides, and even some of the older generation, were very curious. They gathered around Phoenix Lake and waited for the battle to begin. The people from Phoenix Palace are here. Someone shouted. Many people looked in the direction of Phoenix Palace and saw a group of people flying in their direction. Most of them were young, but there were also some older people with strong auras. Which one is Lu Ming? Someone asked. The black-robed young man standing beside Huang Ling is Lu Ming. Oh, it seems that his cultivation is not very high. He is only in the Great Sage realm. He is very bold to challenge the 6th Golden Crow Prince and Wan Tianbing. Someone spoke. There were seniors here with extremely high cultivation levels. There were even quasi-emperors. Although Lu Ming used the illusory breath technique to hide his cultivation level, the difference in their cultivation levels was too great, and he could still be seen through. What? He is only in the Great Sage realm. That's right. However, I heard rumors that Lu Ming is most likely the son of Chaos. What? The son of Chaos? Is that true? The son of Chaos, one of the Elysian sons? It might be true. Otherwise, how could he have cultivated the Wan family's art of 10,000 soldiers? However, even if he is the son of Chaos or the other Elysian sons, he only represents potential. Before he grows up, he will still be killed by others. As soon as Lu Ming and the others arrived, there was a lot of discussion. This showed how popular this battle was during this period. In particular, there were all kinds of rumors about Lu Ming's identity. Lu Ming, you can do it. I believe you will win. Huang Ling cheered for Lu Ming. Lu Ming smiled and descended from the sky. He landed on Phoenix Lake and stood on the surface of the lake, waiting quietly. Rip! At that moment, the sky in the distance was illuminated by streaks of lightning. The streaks of lightning seemed to split the sky into pieces. Then, when the lightning disappeared, there was already a group of people on Lake Phoenix. The people from the Thunder God sect have arrived. Someone whispered. The Thunder God sect was one of the most powerful forces in the ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming, I hope you'll be victorious. Within the Thunder God sect, a young man spoke, and his voice reverberated throughout the entire place. Brother Yi, when I win, let's go have a drink. Lu Ming smiled. The young man who spoke was none other than Yi Dongfang. This caused many people to raise their eyebrows. Lu Ming was also familiar with a genius from the Thunder God sect? What wishful thinking! You have no chance of winning. A cold voice rang out, and a group of people with noble auras stepped through the air. The experts of the Wan clan had arrived. Quite a few people from the Wan clan came. There were young geniuses and older generation figures. They were all experts. Among them, Wan Tianbing stepped through the air and landed on the lake, facing Lu Ming. Lu Ming, originally, I could have killed you alone. But since you wanted to fight me and the 6th Golden Crow Prince, I'll let you die in peace. Wan Tianbing sneered. Strength is not determined by words, Lu Ming said lightly. Kaboom! At that moment, the sky rumbled as if a giant beast was stepping on the void. In fact, that was the case. 9 colossal statues that were 100 meters tall and had jade-like bodies pulled a huge chariot that crushed the void as it approached. Roar! 9 100-meter-tall colossi stopped not far away, giving people a strong visual impact. The people from the Divine Elephant sect are here too, someone said with a solemn expression. There were many powerful forces in the ancient Moon Holy Land, but there were also differences in strength. The Divine Elephant sect was one of the most powerful forces. Lu Ming also looked toward the chariot. If he remembered correctly, Long Chen had been rescued by a terrifying expert from the Divine Elephant sect. At that moment, a group of people stepped out of the chariot. There were not many of them, only a dozen. The person in the lead was a young man with an ordinary appearance, but his eyes were like lightning, and he had a domineering aura. Long Chen. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He did not expect to see Long Chen. Long Chen looked around and saw Lu Ming, and he smiled. Lu Ming, long time no see, Long Chen said with a deep voice, but there was a hint of excitement. He and Lu Ming both came from the Divine Wilderness continent. At that moment, they were far away, so it was inevitable that they would be excited to meet an old friend. Yes, long time no see. Long Chen, let's catch up after this battle. Lu Ming smiled. Long Chen nodded and stood aside with the people from the Divine Elephant sect. Lu Ming knew the people from the Divine Elephant sect? Many people were shocked. Lu Ming knew quite a lot of people. At that moment, a sword light flashed across the sky, and the experts from the Great Baron Sword sect arrived. Then the Skybird Palace and the Hutta sect also arrived. They were all powerful forces from the sacred grounds. Most of the powerful forces probably came because they heard about the Son of Chaos. Ka. At that moment, dozens of golden lights shot toward them from the distance. They were dozens of 3-legged golden crows. The people of the golden crows had arrived. Dozens of 3-legged golden crows stopped in the sky above Lake Phoenix. Their bodies were surrounded by golden sun fire, as if dozens of suns had appeared in the sky. Swish! One of the 3-legged golden crows flapped its wings and flew down to Lake Phoenix, standing side by side with Wan Tianbing. Its golden eyes emitted cold light as it stared at Lu Ming. It was the 6th Golden Crow Prince. Wan Tianbing, leave this guy to me. The 6th Golden Crow Prince said arrogantly. Leave it to you? Wan Tianbing narrowed his eyes. That's right. I can kill Lu Ming alone. The voice of the 6th Golden Crow Prince sounded. Then, he flapped his wings and flew toward Lu Ming like a beam of golden light. He flapped his wings, and the divine fire of the great sun cut through the void like a blade, slashing toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming stepped on the surface of the lake and rushed toward the 6th Golden Crow Prince like lightning. He slashed with his hand, and the flaming blade was instantly shattered. Lu Ming's hand didn't stop and clashed with the 6th Golden Crow Prince's wings. Bang! It was as if 2 giant mountains had collided with each other. The powerful force immediately stirred up thousands of waves in Lake Phoenix. Kill! Divine Sun destroys the world. The 6th Golden Crow Prince shouted. The divine sun fire on his body was burning fiercely. Even the space around him was distorted. His body shrank into a ball, as if he had really turned into a sun, and smashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming circulated the law of chaos around his body and performed the heaven-suppressing hell art. He turned his hand into a fist and punched continuously. Chapter 1762. Dong, dong, dong. Terrifying collisions were heard continuously. The two of them clashed more than 100 times, and the sixth golden crow prince flew far away like a rubber ball. He spread his wings and flapped them frantically a few times before he finally stopped. Lu Ming is so strong. He's covered in a layer of chaotic light. He's not afraid of the divine fire of the golden crows at all. The law of primal chaos. It's really the law of primal chaos. Lu Ming is really the son of primal chaos. The son of primal chaos, one of the sons of primal chaos, actually appeared in the ancient moon sacred ground. I heard that the son of death and the son of eternity also appeared in Celestial City. Not only the sons of primal chaos, but there are also many king physiques in Celestial City. It's too shocking. A great era is coming. The era of the sons of primal chaos and the kings of primal chaos is coming. Many of the older generation figures sighed. You alone are not enough. Wan Tianbing, come at me together. Lu Ming's indifferent voice sounded. As you wish. Wan Tianbing said coldly. Light spots lit up all over his body, and sacred weapons flew out one after another. There were more than 100 weapons in total. Among them, there were 3 great sacred weapons. Wan Tianbing held a great saint-level battle sword in his hand. His battle weapon qi gathered, and his aura was terrifying. The sharp aura stirred up terrifying sword scars in Lake Phoenix. Swoosh! Wan Tianbing was surrounded by sacred weapons, and he charged at Lu Ming. The sword light was shocking, and it slashed at Lu Ming's vital points. Die! The sixth golden crow prince roared. He flapped his wings and charged at Lu Ming like a ray of golden light. Before he arrived, the blazing divine fire of the divine sun had already charged at Lu Ming. At the same time, the 3-legged golden crow's claws were extremely sharp, and they clawed at Lu Ming. The 3-legged golden crow's third claw was extremely terrifying. It was said to be indestructible, and could crush sacred weapons. Chaotic Calamity Finger. Lu Ming pointed out 2 claws consecutively, using 20% of the Chaotic Calamity Finger. 2 huge fingers formed and pointed at the 6th Golden Crow Prince, and Wan Tianbing. Boom! Boom! After 2 explosions, Wan Tianbing and the 6th Golden Crow Prince shuddered and slid backward, leaving 2 terrifying airwaves in the air. Many people gasped. Lu Ming was so powerful. He could actually force Wan Tianbing and the Golden Crow 6th Prince into a disadvantageous position. It was too shocking. Most importantly, Lu Ming's cultivation level was only at the phenomenal Bright Sage realm, while Wan Tianbing and the 6th Golden Crow Prince were already at the perfected Bright Sage realm. They were about to enter the Great Sage realm. Even with such a high level of cultivation, he was still no match for him. The members of the Golden Crow clan's one family had ugly expressions on their faces. As expected of the son of primal chaos, his battle prowess is simply too astonishing. In a battle of the same level, other than the other princes and kings, no one can match him. An old man exclaimed in amazement. Many young geniuses turned pale. This level of battle prowess was much stronger than theirs. Kill! Kill! Wan Tianbing and the 6th Golden Crow Prince roared. They couldn't lose this battle. More light spots lit up on Wan Tianbing's body. More sacred weapons flew out, making his battle prowess even stronger. A sun really appeared above the 6th Golden Crow Prince's head. It shone brightly and emitted terrifying power. Be destroyed by my sun, the 6th Golden Crow Prince yelled. The sun blasted toward Lu Ming, as if it was really a sun that was going to burn Lu Ming. This was the 6th Golden Crow Prince's divine power, and its power had reached 40%. The power of a divine power at 40% was absolutely terrifying. Once this move was used, ordinary Great Sage Perfection experts, no matter how many of them there were, would all die and be burned to ashes. Ordinary Great Sage Minor Mastery experts would also have to retreat, and not dare to take it head-on if their mastery of the magical power was not deep enough. Chaotic Calamity Finger. The law of chaos flowed on Lu Ming's body as he pointed out a finger. The law of chaos in the world was controlled. Endless energy gathered toward Lu Ming's finger. The energy within 100 miles seemed to have been sucked dry. A huge finger pointed toward the sixth golden crow, prince like a god's finger. The finger collided with the blazing sun in the sky. At this moment, dazzling light exploded in the sky, making people unable to open their eyes. Some of the weaker ones even teared up. Boom! Then there was an explosion like a sun exploding. The chaotic calamity finger didn't stop. It continued to move forward and hit the sixth golden crow prince heavily. The sixth golden crow prince screamed and flew far away. His blood spilled over Lake Phoenix, and golden feathers filled the sky. The sixth golden crow prince was severely injured. After Lu Ming used the chaotic calamity finger, he stepped into the sky and rushed toward Wan Tianbing with his sacred weapon circling around him. Wan Tianbing also rushed toward Lu Ming. Both of them used the 10,000 weapon spell. The chi of battle weapons gathered and clashed with each other. A beam of chi of battle weapons shot up into the sky like a light pillar and shone with the exploding sun. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. He used the divine sword spell, and 2 beams of sword light shot out from his eyes. Although Wan Tianbing was a genius and had a powerful soul power and soul defense treasures, Lu Ming's cultivation had improved. His soul power had become stronger, which would affect Wan Tianbing. Wan Tianbing's eyes flashed with pain as he used the divine sword spell. Whoosh! Lu Ming wielded a great sage-level combat sword and slashed at Wan Tianbing. Wan Tianbing roared and fought back with all his might. He also slashed out a beam of sword light. Their swords clashed, and the sky buzzed. Then a figure quickly retreated. It was Wan Tianbing. He had been suppressed by Lu Ming in a head-on clash. Kill! Lu Ming continued to charge toward Wan Tianbing. His aura was like a rainbow, and his murderous aura soared to the sky, spreading in all directions. Wan Tianbing fought back with all his might. Clang! 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 The two continued to clash, but Wan Tianbing had to take a few steps back every time they clashed. After dozens of moves, he had taken a few hundred steps back. His arms began to tremble. Lu Ming die. Wan Tianbing looked ferocious. An aperture between his eyebrows shone brightly. Then, a huge battle axe appeared, exuding terrifying energy waves. An absolute saint weapon. That's an absolute saint weapon. How could Wan Tianbing seal an absolute saint weapon? Someone exclaimed. It must be an emperor-level expert helping him. Otherwise, Wan Tianbing wouldn't be able to seal an absolute saint weapon with his cultivation. The absolute saint weapon would tear his body apart. That's right. Lu Ming is in danger. Wan Tianbing isn't much weaker than him. Once the absolute saint weapon appears, Lu Ming won't be able to resist it. Huang Ling, Mu Qingxue, and the others looked worried. Long Chen's eyes shone brightly. He wasn't worried at all. Die! Wan Tianbing slashed with the absolute saint weapon, the battle axe. The void shook, as if it was going to be split open. Clang! Chapter 1763. An absolute sacred weapon is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. He realized that there was a crack in his battle sword. A supreme sacred weapon was indeed no match for an absolute sacred weapon. Wan Tianbing was invigorated after suppressing Lu Ming with one strike. He appeared in front of Lu Ming in the blink of an eye, and chopped down with his battle axe again. Clang! This time, Lu Ming was also sent flying. There was even a crack on his battle sword. Kill! Kill Lu Ming! Wan Tianbing, kill him in one go! A young man from the Wan family shouted. An old man said coldly. Kill! Wan Tianbing's morale was high. His battle axe was like a storm as he chopped down at Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his hand. 2 sacred weapon shields flew out and blocked in front of him. Bang! Bang! The battle axe chopped down, and the 2 sacred weapon shields were split in half. Sacred weapons were as fragile as tofu in front of an absolute sacred weapon. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming was knocked back by 2 consecutive moves. Wan Tianbing, with your cultivation, your body won't last long if you seal an absolute sacred weapon and use it. You'll suffer a backlash, Lu Ming said. His voice was still very calm. It's enough to kill you. Wan Tianbing roared and attacked wildly. Indeed, He could not afford to waste any more time. Just like what Lu Ming had said, he could feel the terrifying pressure. The powerful aura of the battle soldier was tearing his body apart at every moment. A layer of fine blood beads had already seeped out of his skin. He had to get rid of Lu Ming as soon as possible. Is that so? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Then, his forehead glowed and a Tai Chi array disc appeared. Go. Lu Ming waved his hand. The Tai Chi array disc shone brightly. A Tai Chi pattern flowed on its surface and suppressed Wan Tianbing. Clang! Wan Tianbing's axe heavily struck the Tai Chi disc. The Tai Chi disc shone even more resplendently. It shook violently and was sent flying back. However, there was not a single mark on the Tai Chi disc. How could this be? Wan Tianbing's eyes widened in disbelief. What kind of treasure was Lu Ming's? It could even block a holy weapon, and it didn't even leave a scratch on it. Then he charged towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming took out the Tai Chi array disc to block the attacks. Although the Tai Chi array disc would be sent flying every time, it managed to block Wan Tianbing's attacks, and he was not injured at all. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. The Tai Chi array disc was most likely an emperor-level treasure. It was just that Lu Ming was still unable to unleash its full power. Break for me! Wan Tianbing roared as he crazily slashed at Lu Ming. However, every time, he was blocked by the Tai Chi array disc. The Wan family members' faces darkened. Lu Ming is truly outstanding. He has mastered the law of primal chaos. He is undoubtedly the son of primal chaos. An old woman from Phoenix Palace exclaimed, her eyes filled with admiration. The son of primal chaos is known as one of the sons of primal chaos. He has great providence and his talent is heaven-defying. Since ancient times, any son of primal chaos who has mastered the 10 strongest laws would have unimaginable achievements as long as they didn't die. This child is very close to Huang Ling. Since that's the case, our Phoenix Palace can only befriend him and not offend him. If he matures in the future, it will only be beneficial to our Phoenix Palace. That's right. Several elders of Phoenix Palace spoke, communicating through voice transmissions. Whoosh! At this moment, a terrifying sonic boom came from behind Lu Ming. The Golden Crow's 6th prince was charging at him again. How dare you sneak attack me when you're injured? I'll kill you, Lu Ming said coldly. The Grand Saint weapon in his hand suddenly slashed behind him. Now there were 6 Grand Saint weapons sealed in Lu Ming's body. They were extremely powerful. With one slash, a shrill scream sounded. Golden feathers flew everywhere. One of the Golden Crow's 6th prince's wings had been cut off by Lu Ming. The Golden Crow's 6th prince had already been injured by Lu Ming. Naturally, he was no match for Lu Ming. The Golden Crow's 6th prince paled in fright. He desperately flapped his remaining wing and retreated. Primal Chaos Finger. Lu Ming waved his hand and put away the Golden Crow's 6th prince's wing. Then he pointed a finger. A terrifying finger pointed at the Golden Crow's 6th prince. The Golden Crow's 6th prince was terrified. He desperately tried to escape, but it was too late. The Primal Chaos Finger was rapidly approaching him. Whoosh! At this moment, a golden light flashed and hit the Primal Chaos Finger. It broke the Primal Chaos Finger and allowed the Golden Crow 6th prince to escape. It was an elder from the Golden Crow clan who had saved the Golden Crow 6th prince. How despicable! Mu Qingxue was straightforward. Her voice spread throughout the area. The Golden Crow expert glanced coldly at Mu Qingxue. He didn't say anything. Lu Ming glanced coldly at the Golden Crows. He didn't chase after the Golden Crow 6th prince. Instead, he looked at Wan Tianbing. Right now, Wan Tianbing's eyes were bloodshot. He was bathed in blood. This wasn't Lu Ming's blood. It was his own. He'd been torn out by the backlash of the Ultimate Saint weapon. The backlash was getting stronger and stronger. Wan Tianbing couldn't take it anymore. Suddenly, Wan Tianbing's body shook. He spat out a mouthful of blood. His aura quickly weakened. Die! Lu Ming wouldn't miss this opportunity. The Tai Chi formation floated above his head. He held his battle sword and charged at Wan Tianbing. Wan Tianbing could only barely raise his battle axe to block the attack. Clang! Wan Tianbing's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He couldn't even hold on to his battle axe. The battle axe shook and flew out of his hand. Lu Ming stepped into the air. His saint power swept up Wan Tianbing's battle axe and put it into his storage ring. At the same time, he continued to charge at Wan Tianbing with his battle sword. Wan Tianbing was suffering from the backlash. His body was about to be torn apart. He was severely injured. How could he block Lu Ming's attack? No! Wan Tianbing yelled. Enough! An elder from the Wan family stepped out. With a wave of his hand, a stream of saint power wrapped around Wan Tianbing like a ribbon and pulled him behind him. Then a cold glint flashed in his eyes. He struck out with his palm, and a huge palm print blasted toward Lu Ming, intending to kill him. Oh no! Lu Ming's expression changed. He didn't expect the other party to be so despicable. Not only did he interfere, but he also attacked him. Although it was just a casual attack, the other party's cultivation was too high. Its power was still terrifying. Buzz! The Tai Chi formation above Lu Ming's head vibrated. It shone brightly and grew rapidly. It rushed toward the huge palm print. At the same time, Lu Ming unleashed all his strength. He pointed out with his finger. The power of the chaotic calamity finger was fully unleashed. A huge chaotic calamity finger pointed forward. His body quickly retreated. Boom! Chapter 1764. The giant palm didn't stop there. It continued to smash down and collided with the chaotic finger of calamity. The chaotic finger of calamity emitted chaotic light and was extremely powerful. However, Lu Ming's cultivation was still too weak. He couldn't block the palm and collapsed. However, after continuous resistance, the other party's palm print had been weakened by a large part. The remaining palm energy continued to blast toward Lu Ming. Block it! Lu Ming retreated while blocking with all his strength. More than 100 sacred weapons floated in front of him. A layer of dragon scales appeared on the surface of his body. The law of chaos flowed on the dragon scales. Boom! The palm swept over and crushed everything. Lu Ming's body shook violently and retreated 1,000 meters. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face was pale. There was a cold glint in the eyes of the elder from the Wan family. His palm did not kill Lu Ming. Instead, it only injured Lu Ming. He slashed out with his palm. This time it was a sword gleam. It was stunning, as if it could break through everything. At that moment the cry of a phoenix sounded. A ray of light flew out and blocked the sword light. The Wan family elder looked at the Phoenix Palace and said coldly, "Why? Does the Phoenix Palace want to stop me? Nonsense. The Golden Crow clan is shameless, but the Wan family is even more shameless. The younger generation can't defeat Lu Ming, so you attacked the older generation. How despicable." Mu Qingxue cursed. "Shut up." The Wan family elder scolded. "Shut up. You're despicable and shameless, but you don't allow others to talk about you." Mu Qingxue shouted. The force behind Mu Qingxue was also very powerful. She wasn't afraid of the Wan family at all. Qingxue is right. A month ago, Lu Ming challenged Wan Tianbing and the Golden Crow 6th Prince to a battle. It was a battle of the younger generation. But now, not only did you save Wan Tianbing, but you also attacked Lu Ming. Don't you think that's too much? Huang Ling added. It's not just excessive, it's simply shameless. Just now, Wan Tianbing had the upper hand, so he shouted at Lu Ming to kill him. When Wan Tianbing was no match for him, the older generation stepped in to save him. They even directly attacked Lu Ming. This is the way of the Wan clan. I've really learned something new, Long Chen said coldly. After being mocked by several juniors, the expert from the Wan clan had an extremely ugly expression on his face. Then, the expert from the Wan family looked at Lu Ming and scolded. "Boy, hand over the ultimate holy weapon, the battle axe, and I will spare your life." "Spare my life? Haha, what a joke." Lu Ming laughed uproariously as he stepped into the air, facing the Wan clan's expert head-on. I've never imagined that a holy ground like the Wan clan could be so shameless. How can such a force be called a holy ground? What a joke. Today, I fought against Wan Tianbing and the 6th Golden Crow Prince. If I'm no match for them, I'll just be killed. If they're no match for me, you have no right to interfere. Moreover, that battle axe is my spoils of war. What right do you have to take it back? How dare you insult the Wan clan? You're courting death. The Wan clan's expert's eyes emitted cold, murderous intent as he stepped forward. A terrifying aura pressed down on Lu Ming. However, an elder from the Phoenix Palace also stepped forward and blocked the Wan clan's expert with his aura. Is the Phoenix Palace determined to go against the Wan clan? The Wan clan's elder said coldly. Do you think the Phoenix Palace is afraid? An old woman from the Phoenix Palace smiled faintly. Haha. Everyone present, in my opinion, if you see the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan in the future, you'd better avoid them. It's best if you don't spar with them. If you lose, you'll be humiliated and killed. If you win, their older generation will immediately rush over to kill you. Lu Ming laughed out loud. His tone was full of sarcasm. That's right. In my opinion, the younger generation of the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan should stay at home and not come out. They can't afford to lose. Mu Qingxue added. The Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan's faces darkened. Kid, hand over that wing, and we'll forget about what happened today. At that moment, an expert from the Golden Crow clan stepped forward and looked at Lu Ming with his golden eyes. What a joke. That's also my spoils of war. I'll roast that Golden Crow wing tonight. It must be delicious. Lu Ming said faintly. He was upset, extremely upset. This was an unfair battle. Just as he had said, if he had lost, he would have been killed by the other party. However, the other party's older generation directly intervened and saved the sixth Golden Crow prince, and Wan Tianbing. Now they were asking for his spoils of war. How could Lu Ming hand it over? How dare you? You're courting death. All the experts from the Golden Crow clan stepped forward with murderous intent. Their eyes were cold as they closed in on Lu Ming. Roar! In the sky, the sound of dragons and elephants could be heard. Long Chen stepped on the void and came over. Behind him were the experts from the Divine Elephant clan. Does the Divine Elephant clan want to interfere too? An expert from the Golden Crow clan said with a serious look in his eyes. The Divine Elephant clan was extremely powerful. Even the Golden Crow clan had to be wary of them. Nonsense. Long Chen's answer was simple, but it showed his attitude. Bam! Bam! The experts from the Phoenix Palace stepped on the void and stood in front of Lu Ming. The experts from the four sides began to confront each other. The other experts around them watched excitedly. Were the four forces going to fight today? Elder, Lu Ming is so talented that he's worthy of our friendship. Moreover, Lu Ming and I are old friends. Yi Dongfang transmitted his voice to an expert from the Thunder God sect. The eyes of the expert from the Thunder God sect flickered. He nodded and transmitted his voice to the other experts from the Thunder God sect. Then, lightning flashed and several elders from the Thunder God sect appeared near the experts from the Wan clan. A terrifying aura pressed down on the Wan clan. Wan clan, Golden Crow clan, you've gone too far today. An elder from the Thunder God sect said. This made the faces of the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan turn even uglier. The Thunder God sect wants to interfere too? An expert from the Wan clan said. A battle between the younger generation is a matter for the younger generation. If there is no competition between the geniuses, how can they grow? The older generation is not allowed to interfere. This is an unwritten rule in the martial arts world. If everyone is like you, how can the younger generation dare to go out and train? If the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan can do this, then the other forces can do the same. The younger generation will be slaughtered by the older generation. An elder from the Thunder God sect said. Although the voice of the elder from the Thunder God sect was calm, it was filled with killing intent. If the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan can do this, then the other forces can do the same. Unless the disciples of the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan join forces in the future, they will be killed too. Without the addition of the younger generation, any force will be destroyed. The faces of the experts from the Wan clan and the Golden Crow clan turned gloomy. Alright, let's forget about today's matter. An expert from the Wan clan waved his sleeves and looked coldly at Lu Ming. Don't think that you can dominate the younger generation after defeating Wan Tianbing and the sixth prince of the Golden Crow clan. Those great Saint Skyprides from the ancient Moon Holy Ground have gone to the Celestial City. However, they will be back soon. At that time, my Wan clan will kill you. Chapter 1765. Although the remaining golden crows were extremely unwilling and wanted to take back the sixth prince's wings, it was impossible for them to do so on their own. Lu Ming, the previous princes of the golden crows, are also returning from Celestial City. If you dare to do anything to humiliate the golden crows, you will definitely die. An elite from the golden crows said coldly. Then, he led the rest of the golden crows away, turning into rays of sword light and leaving the place. Of course, what he meant by humiliating the golden crows was the roasted wings that Lu Ming had mentioned before. In the blink of an eye, the Wan family and the golden crows had all left and disappeared without a trace. The battle had ended just like that. However, Lu Ming's name would definitely resound throughout the ancient Moon Holy Land. Lu Ming, long time no see. You've become stronger. You're indeed the number one in the divine ruins. Long Chen stepped on the air and said with a smile. Thank you. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Long Chen. Then he bowed to the elites of Phoenix Palace, Divine Elephant Sect, and Thunder God Sect. Lu Ming thanks all of you for your help. Lu Ming will remember this kindness in his heart. Haha, nephew Lu Ming. You don't have to be so polite. The actions of the Wan family and the Golden Crows were truly despicable. We just couldn't stand it. An old man from the Thunder God Sect laughed out loud, appearing rather heroic. Lu Ming, let's go and have a drink. Yi Dongfang stepped over. All right, let's go together. It's my treat today. Lu Ming nodded with a smile. You young people can have a gathering. We old men won't get involved. The elder from Thunder God Sect smiled. Then, he and the others from Thunder God Sect flashed and left the place. You guys go back first. Long Chen ordered the elites of Divine Elephant Sect. Clearly, Long Chen's status in Divine Elephant Sect was not low. The cultivators of the Divine Elephant Sect nodded and left. Finally, the cultivators of the Phoenix Palace left as well. In a bustling gathering place, in a bustling restaurant, Lu Ming, Long Chen, Huang Ling, Mu Qingxue, Yi Dongfang, and Su Ran sat around a table. The table was already filled with spirit wine and delicacies. Everyone toasted each other and ate to their heart's content. Lu Ming, it's been 7 or 8 years since we parted on the Godly Ruins continent. Long Chen drank a few cups in a row and sighed. He had chosen to join the Divine Dragon Valley just like Lu Ming, but he was captured by the Southern Divine Palace in the Divine Ruins continent and imprisoned for almost 2 years. In the end, he was rescued by a peerless overlord from the Divine Elephant Sect and became his disciple. Now he was respected in the Divine Elephant Sect. Actually, it's not like we haven't seen each other for 7 or 8 years. Later on, I returned to the ruins of God and saw you being taken away by the experts of the Divine Elephant Sect. Lu Ming said with a smile. You were there as well. Long Chen was stunned. Yes. Lu Ming nodded and briefly explained how he had snuck into the Southern Divine Palace to save Long Chen. Thank you. Long Chen raised his cup, his eyes filled with gratitude. Haha, you don't have to thank me. Fortunately, there was an overlord from the Divine Elephant Sect. Otherwise, with my cultivation back then, I wouldn't have been able to save you. Lu Ming smiled. The others were also surprised. They didn't expect Lu Ming and Long Chen to come from the same place. At this time, Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. Then, a light flashed between his eyebrows and bubbles appeared on Lu Ming's shoulder. Damn Lu Ming, stinky Lu Ming. You keep me in the mountain river diagram every day while you eat and drink here. Chirp chirp. Bubbles came out and muttered unhappily. Then, she grabbed a wine pot and gulped down a few mouthfuls. Her pink face immediately turned even redder. Long Chen, Huang Ling, and the others were stunned when they saw Lu Ming let out a little girl of 2 or 3 years old. Lu Ming, it's been many years since we last met. I didn't expect you to have a child. Congratulations. Long Chen picked up a cup of wine and drank it in one gulp. What? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Lu Ming, so you already have a child? Huang Ling stared at Lu Ming with wide eyes and then at Bubbles. The more she looked at the two, the more she felt that they were alike. A trace of disappointment flashed in the depths of her eyes. Wow, Huang Ling is going to cry now. But Lu Ming, your daughter is so cute. Come, let Andy hug her. Mu Qingxue walked over and wanted to hug Bubbles. No. Bubbles shook her head like a rattle drum and jumped onto Lu Ming. She hugged Lu Ming's neck and hung onto Lu Ming's body tightly. You've misunderstood. She's not my daughter, Lu Ming said speechlessly. Not your daughter? Don't quibble. I think she really looks like you. Mu Qingxue obviously didn't believe it. To be honest, Bubbles and Lu Ming did look somewhat similar. That was because when Bubbles transformed, she subconsciously looked like Lu Ming. Naturally, there would be some resemblance. She's really not. Her name is Bubbles. Her original form is a divine beast, not a human. You guys sense it carefully. Lu Ming didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He could only explain. Everyone sensed it and found that Bubbles wasn't human. She was emitting the aura of a divine beast. Of course, after Bubbles transformed, they couldn't sense what kind of divine beast she was. Oh, she's really a divine beast, Mu Qingxue muttered, while Huang Ling inexplicably heaved a sigh of relief. It's a misunderstanding. Let's drink. Long Chen smiled awkwardly. Everyone clinked their cups continuously. The atmosphere was lively. Lu Ming, you've offended the Golden Crow clan and the Wan family today. You still have to be careful. Although they were forced by us today, and their elders can't make a move, there are stronger sky prides from the two forces. Soon, they will return from Celestial City, Yi Dongfang said. Long Chen, Huang Ling, and Mu Qingxue's faces froze. That's right. Those sky prides are almost all above the Great Sage Realm. They're very terrifying. Huang Ling's face was also a little solemn. Celestial City? Why are those people in Celestial City? Lu Ming was puzzled. It was the first time he had heard of Celestial City. Lu Ming, there are 9 great holy lands in the land of Yuan Mountain. Ancient Moon Holy Land is one of them, but it's not too strong. Celestial City is also one of the 9 great holy lands. It's the leader of the 9 great holy lands. Long Chen explained. Lu Ming's heart moved. Celestial City was the leader of the 9 great holy lands. Celestial City is vast and boundless. Legend has it that it was built by the ancient Celestial Emperor. In Celestial City, there are many powerful forces that are more terrifying than ancient Moon Holy Land. About a year ago, there was news from Celestial City that a great emperor came forward to establish a sacred courtyard of Yuan Mountain. He summoned all the sky prides in the land of Yuan Mountain to cultivate. All the sky prides in the land of Yuan Mountain will enter, and there will be a great emperor personally preaching. This is a true great emperor, and there's more than one of them. When this news came out, the entire land of Yuan Mountain was shaken. Many powerful sky prides took the lead and rushed to Celestial City. I heard that the Celestial City is gathering, Long Chen explained. Celestial Emperor? A true great emperor? Lu Ming was puzzled. He heard Long Chen's words and it was a little strange. Chapter 1766. Lu Ming, I don't think you're clear about the division of the martial emperor realm, Huang Ling said. Lu Ming nodded. He had just arrived at the ancient Moon Holy Land not long ago, and there was no emperor-level figure in the Tsang state. Naturally, he was not clear about the division of the martial emperor realm. The martial emperor realm is actually divided into several realms. Those who have just broken through to the martial emperor realm are called the minor emperor realm, then the intermediate emperor realm, then the great emperor realm. Above the great emperor realm is the heavenly emperor realm. Each emperor realm is divided into 7 stars. Huang Ling explained. Lu Ming was shocked. There were so many realms in the martial emperor realm. Minor emperor realm, intermediate emperor realm, great emperor realm, heavenly emperor realm. Each emperor realm was divided into 7 stars. How shocking was that? Outside the ancient Moon Holy Land, the emperor-level experts of the emperor-level forces are generally in the minor emperor realm. They are not considered true great emperors. However, many people below the martial emperor realm will address those emperor-level experts as great emperors. In fact, only those who have reached the great emperor realm are true great emperors. They will add the word great emperor to their title, such as the reincarnation great emperor in the 100 Clan battlefield. Huang Ling continued to explain. I see. Lu Ming understood. Usually, the great emperors they referred to were not great emperors, but just a title. For example, Emperor Song, Emperor Yun, Thousand-Kill Martial Emperor, etc. They were not great emperors, so their titles did not include the word great emperor. For example, Emperor Song was called great emperor in the Song state. Of course, that was because the people in the Song state did not know the division of the martial emperor realm. The reincarnation great emperor was a true great emperor. There are so many realms in the martial emperor realm. I guess people like Emperor Song are just minor emperors. The road to the top is long, but it's more interesting. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with anticipation. The road of martial arts was long, and the process of climbing was a kind of fun. Great emperors are the ones who stand at the top. Now, I don't know if the ancient Moon Holy Land has any. In the Celestial City, several great emperors have come forward to establish the Yuan Mountain Holy Court. This is something that has never happened before, so naturally it's attracted countless geniuses. Yi Dongfang said with a look of yearning in his eyes. Are there any heavenly emperor powerhouses in Yuan Mountain? Lu Ming asked. I don't know. Huang Ling, Long Chun, and the others shook their heads. Legend has it that the Celestial Emperor City was built by the Celestial Emperor himself. But now, the Celestial Emperor is a legend that cannot be seen in this world. The Celestial Emperor is the pinnacle. Long Chun sighed. Is there a realm above the Celestial Emperor? Lu Ming asked again. There are legends, but they're too far away. They're legends among legends. Huang Ling said after pondering for a moment. Lu Ming found it hard to calm down. He thought of many things. What realm were the top 10 beasts in? Eggy had once said that the 10 strongest war beasts were the peak existences in the world. Were they the great emperors or the celestial emperors? Back then, Lu Ming had seen the Titan longhorn beetle attack. It was truly incomparably terrifying, as if it could destroy the world. Also, it was said that the primal chaos emperor was even stronger than the top 10 beasts. What realm was he at? After thinking for a while, Lu Ming shook his head and pulled his thoughts back. These things were still too far away from him. Has Yuan Mountain Sacred Courtyard been convened? Lu Ming changed the topic. No, I heard that it has been built. I believe that it will be convened soon. This time, those geniuses returned from Celestial City to prepare for the opening of Yuan Mountain Sacred Courtyard. After all, it's not that easy to enter Yuan Mountain Sacred Courtyard. Long Chun said. Everyone chatted and drank. Time passed quickly, and a few hours had passed in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming knew a lot of information that he didn't know before. Although Lu Ming obtained a part of the 9 dragons' memories, it was only a part after all. Many of them were missing. Moreover, the 9 dragons had fallen a long time ago. Their memories of Yuan Mountain were almost blank. Lu Ming, I have something to ask. How about we go out and talk? Long Chun said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. We should go too. Huang Ling said. Then Huang Ling, Yi Dongfang Su ran, and the others all left. Lu Ming paid the bill and left with Long Chun. At this time, it was already night. The two of them walked in the air above the clouds. How's the situation in Divine Wilderness now? Long Chun asked. Lu Ming wasn't surprised. He knew that Long Chun would definitely ask. Divine Wilderness is now unified. Lu Ming briefly recounted what had happened in the Divine Wilderness continent. After listening to it, Long Chun fell silent and didn't speak for a long time. Lu Ming didn't say anything either. After all, Long Chun came from an overlord force, which was destroyed by him. As for the Xie family, they closed their doors and sealed themselves for 10,000 years. Long Chun's fiancée was the princess of the Xie family, Xie Nianlin. After a long time, Long Chun sighed and said, I didn't expect that such a thing would happen in Divine Wilderness. But it's good this way. In fact, when I saw you, I knew that the situation in Divine Wilderness has most likely stabilized. You don't blame me? Lu Ming asked. What's there to blame about the situation? In this world, many things happen every day. Many forces are destroyed, and many forces are born. This is the unchanging rule of this world. If I were you, I would do the same. Long Chun said with a smile. Thank you. Lu Ming said. I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for letting the Xie family go, Long Chen said with a smile. After pondering for a while, he said, It seems that I will have to make a trip back to Divine Wilderness. I want to bring Mianlin out. It's not a violation of the oath, right? Of course not. When are you going back? Does the Divine Elephant sect have a teleportation array? Lu Ming asked. After leaving for so many years, Lu Ming also wanted to go back. The Divine Elephant sect doesn't have a teleportation array to the Divine Ruins continent. For the ancient Moon Holy Land, the Divine Ruins continent is too remote. No force would open such a teleportation array. As far as I know, only some forces in Song State, Cloud State, and Emperor State are relatively close to the Divine Ruins continent. Only then can they open a teleportation array, Long Chen said. What? Only Song State, Cloud State, and Emperor State have teleportation arrays? Lu Ming's expression changed. That's right. Why? Could it be that something big happened in these three states? Long Chen asked. That's right. Lu Ming immediately told him about the Evil Spirit sect. It's actually the Evil Spirit sect. I will go back and report this matter to Master, and see if he can send people to Song State to destroy the Evil Spirit sect. Long Chen said. Lu Ming nodded. It would be best if the Divine Elephant sect sent experts to destroy the Evil Spirit sect. Lu Ming, we haven't seen each other in many years. Why don't we spar? Long Chen suddenly spoke. A powerful battle intent emanated from his body. That's exactly what I want. Chapter 1767. Long Chen was the #1 person among the younger generation in the Divine Wilderness continent. He had awakened one of the top 10 battle beasts, the immemorial dragonesque elephant bloodline, which was extremely powerful and had unparalleled combat strength. Later on, he became the disciple of the Divine Elephant sect and came to the ancient Moon Holy Land. After so many years, Lu Ming was also very curious to see how far Long Chen had come. Boom! Boom! The two stood in the sky, facing each other, and a terrifying aura erupted from their bodies. Their auras collided fiercely, and in an instant, the surrounding clouds were directly blasted away and scattered. Great Circle of the Bright Sage Realm. As soon as the aura was revealed, Lu Ming could see that Long Chen's cultivation was at the Great Circle of the Bright Sage Realm. He was not far from the Great Saint Realm. This was normal. Although Long Chen's cultivation was surpassed by Lu Ming came to the ancient Moon Holy Land and became the disciple of the Divine Elephant sect. The resources that Lu Ming received were definitely far more than Lu Ming's. It was normal that he had reached the Great Circle of the Bright Sage Realm. Roar! Roar! A dragon's roar and an elephant's trumpet sounded at the same time. Above their heads, a vision of heaven and earth appeared at the same time. A 9-dragon and an immemorial dragonesque elephant. Both of them had the aura and majesty of overlooking the world. Then the two moved at the same time. The two figures rushed towards each other at the same time. Lu Ming's body flowed with the law of primal chaos as he performed the suppressing hell heaven skill. With a palm strike, his palm seemed to have turned into a suppressing hell monument, suppressing Long Chen. Lu Ming did not hold back against Long Chen and used all his strength. Roar! Long Chen's body constantly emitted the sound of an elephant's trumpet. His body swelled up, and his arms grew rapidly. His muscles were knotted, as if they were filled with endless strength. The two palms struck each other fiercely, meeting force with force. Dong! Like two stars colliding, the sky trembled and the space fluctuated violently. An invisible force burst out from the place where the two collided, sweeping across a radius of thousands of miles, destroying all the clouds. The two separated after one strike and retreated at the same time. What a terrifying power! This is the law of strength. Lu Ming's mind raced as he saw through Long Chen's laws. Long Chen's law was the extreme force law. It was known as the extreme force law. With the circulation of the law, he could release an incomparably terrifying power with just a raise of his hand. This was a terrifying law. Although it was not as powerful as the 10 supreme laws, it was not too far off. It was one of the most terrifying laws below the 10 supreme laws. Again, Long Chen's fighting spirit soared like a rainbow. He was like an immemorial divine elephant, stepping on the void with all his strength. Good timing. Lu Ming had nothing to fear. He cultivated the law of primal chaos, one of the strongest laws in the world. He also had the hell-suppressing heaven skill. With the combination of these two, every strike contained boundless power that could suppress everything. Dong! The two of them clashed for the second time, and an even more intense roar resounded between heaven and earth. This time, the two figures trembled and continued to bombard each other. Dong! Dong! Terrifying collisions occurred one after another. The two of them seemed to have transformed into ancient wild beasts, suppressing the world. The two figures flickered in the sky, and terrifying forces burst out continuously. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged more than 100 blows, and there was no clear winner. Long Chen's spiritual body was also a medium heaven spiritual body, and his law was the extreme force law. Both of them were slightly weaker than Lu Ming, but their cultivation was much stronger than Lu Ming's. The two of them fought fiercely, and it was difficult to determine the winner. Bam! Another blow was exchanged, and the two of them retreated. Lu Ming, I'm going to use my super skill next. You have to be careful. Long Chen's fighting spirit grew stronger. Same to you, Lu Ming said. The blood in his body boiled, and the law of primal chaos circulated throughout his body. Extreme force divine elephant fist. Chaotic calamity finger. The two of them shouted at the same time, and used the chaotic calamity finger. Lu Ming did not hide his strength, and he unleashed his full strength. 33% of the chaotic calamity finger burst out, and a huge finger, like the finger of a god, pointed at Long Chen. Long Chen punched out, and a giant elephant appeared in the sky. It roared at the sky, and stepped on the void, and jumped toward Lu Ming, as if it wanted to destroy everything. Boom! The chaotic calamity finger and the giant elephant collided, and then there was an earth-shattering explosion. Lu Ming and Long Chen used the force of the explosion to retreat a few hundred miles, and looked at each other from afar. Lu Ming, I haven't seen you for many years, and you're still so strong. Today's battle was really enjoyable. How about we spar another day? Long Chen said. You're very strong too. Let's spar another day. Lu Ming nodded. I'll look for you in a few days when there's news from my master. With that, Long Chen turned around and left. Of course, Lu Ming did not notice that Long Chen's hand, which was hidden in his sleeve, was trembling. After Long Chen left, Lu Ming shook his numb hand and smiled bitterly. My cultivation is still a little weak. To be honest, Long Chen was very strong, and Lu Ming had a faint feeling that Long Chen might not have used his full strength in the last divine ability. Of course, Lu Ming's means were not limited to that. If he really went all out, Long Chen might not be able to defeat him. With a faint smile, Lu Ming turned around and left, returning to Phoenix Palace. For the next few days, Lu Ming spent his time cultivating. 3 days later, Long Chen came to Phoenix Palace. Your master didn't agree? Lu Ming frowned slightly. Long Chen's face was also full of bitterness. He sat down in the seat in Lu Ming's courtyard, took out a bottle of wine, and took a big gulp. That's right. I told Master about the evil spirit sect, and wanted to ask him to send people to annihilate the evil spirit sect. However, Master rejected me directly. He said that he would leave such a small matter to me to settle. Left to you to deal with. Lu Ming was also speechless. Sigh. It seems that I can't go back for the time being. I can only work hard to cultivate, and become a Dharch in the future. Only then can I kill my way to Tsang Prefecture, and take the teleportation array back to the divine wilderness. Long Chen said helplessly. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. It seemed that this was a test from Long Chen's master. Smells good. There's wine to drink again. A tender voice came from outside the courtyard. Then, they saw Bubbles scurrying in with Huang Ling behind her. Over the past few days, Bubble had gotten familiar with Huang Ling. They spent every day together, running around Phoenix Palace. Phoenix Palace had quite a number of sacred medicines that entered her stomach. Little girl, you still like to drink. I'll give you a jar. A wine jar appeared in Long Chen's hand, and he threw it to Bubbles. Bubbles caught it, opened the lid, and took a big gulp. She was so happy that her eyes narrowed. This little guy is really greedy. Huang Ling walked in with a smile. Just nice. I still have a golden crow wing here that I haven't eaten yet. Lu Ming smiled and took out a golden wing. Sacred power surged, and he plucked all the golden crow feathers on the wing and began to roast it. Huang Ling was a little stunned. She did not expect Lu Ming to really dare to roast a golden crow wing. Not long after, a fragrant smell assailed their nostrils. They began to eat heartily, especially Bubbles. Her mouth was full of oil, and her eyes were narrowed. Buzz! At that moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. A token rushed out of his body, emitting a resplendent light. Chapter 1768. The primordial chaos token suddenly rushed out, which surprised Lu Ming. However, in the next moment, Long Chen and Huang Ling's bodies also lit up, and a primordial chaos token rushed out. Obviously, Huang Ling had also obtained a primordial chaos token. Lu Ming was not surprised. It was said that the primordial chaos token was given to people with great potential. Before Huang Ling broke through to the ruler realm, she had awakened the immortal heavenly phoenix bloodline. She was one of the top 10 war beasts, and was not weaker than Long Chen. It was normal for her to obtain a primordial chaos token. Could it be that the final test of the primordial chaos sect is coming? Huang Ling said in a delicate voice, and a trace of anticipation appeared in her eyes. The final test of the primordial chaos sect. Lu Ming's eyes flashed. When he first obtained the primordial chaos token, a voice was transmitted to him, meaning that he had passed the preliminary test. Later on, Tui had told Lu Ming that the primordial chaos token was related to the successor of the primordial chaos sect. In fact, Lu Ming had been waiting all this while. It had been so many years. Was it finally time? The 3 primordial chaos tokens floated above the 3 of them, and the light became brighter and brighter. In the end, they formed 3 light pillars that enveloped the 3 of them. I want to go too, chirp chirp. Bubbles flew into Lu Ming's arms. At first, Lu Ming was afraid that the light pillar would repel Bubbles. After all, Bubbles did not have a primordial chaos token. He did not expect that the light pillar would not be abnormal at all. Buzz! 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 The light pillar buzzed. Then Lu Ming, Huang Ling and Long Chen disappeared. Of course, Bubbles also disappeared. Lu Ming felt as if he was traveling through time and space. This feeling was very similar to when he went to the primordial chaos palace. He must have traveled through a long space to have this feeling. Suddenly his body shook. Lu Ming found that he had appeared on a small boat. Where is this? Lu Ming looked around. In all directions there were layers of clouds. It was vast and clouds and mist lingered. He could not tell east, west, north or south. There was no land or sky. Below him, a small boat was floating in the vast clouds. Big brother Lu Ming. Bubbles actually came in as well. She stood beside Lu Ming and looked around curiously. The previous generation spirit mouse was one of the primordial chaos sect's hall masters. Perhaps because of this reason, Bubbles can enter without a primordial chaos token. Lu Ming secretly guessed. Huang Ling Long. Lu Ming's gaze looked. Huang Ling and Long Chen were on the right side of Lu Ming. There was a side boat under their feet, suspended in the clouds. Huang Ling, someone from your Phoenix Palace must have entered before. What should we do next? Lu Ming asked. Huang Ling shook her head and said, the Battle of Providence has been going on for many years. Every once in a while, someone will obtain the Chaos Origin token and enter the final test. However, the place to enter is different every time. Therefore, I have no experience in this. That's right. I've seen similar records in the Divine Elephant sect. In the Primordial Chaos sect's final test, the place to enter is different every time, but the place after is always the same. Long Chen added, do you know what kind of existence Primordial Chaos sect is? They control the War of Providence. How can they cover the entire Yuan continent? Lu Ming had always been curious about this. Legend has it that Primordial Chaos sect is one of the top forces in the heaven domain. It is very powerful. Yuan continent has countless powerful unique skills. They are all passed down from Primordial Chaos sect. Rumor has it that Primordial Chaos sect is looking for a successor. Huang Ling explained. Could it be that all the youths with talent and potential in the entire Yuan continent will undergo the final test? Lu Ming asked. Not necessarily. Primordial Chaos Sect is one of the most powerful inheritances in the world. But it is not the only one. There are inheritances that are as powerful as Primordial Chaos Sect. Also, some geniuses did not take part in the War of Providence. Naturally, they cannot take part in the final test. However, there will be a large number of geniuses with terrifying talent and potential. Huang Ling explained. Lu Ming nodded. This time, they might meet a large number of peerless geniuses from all over Yuan continent. Those who could get primordial chaos tokens were definitely people with great potential. Some of the geniuses might have reached an unimaginable level. What should we do next? Longchen asked. We can only move forward. Our 3 boats are heading in the same direction. Let's move forward. Lu Ming suggested. Huang Ling and Longchen nodded. The 3 of them channeled their saint power into the boat. The boat flew forward quickly. This place was boundless. There was no direction. There was no land or starry sky. The 3 of them could only move forward. However, after a few days, they still did not discover anything. The surroundings were still filled with clouds and mist. It was ethereal and boundless as if there was no end to it. Fortunately, the 3 of them were very patient. They sat cross-legged on the boat and cultivated as they moved forward. They were not in a hurry. Bubble, on the other hand, was very curious at first. She blinked her eyes and looked left and right. When she realized that there was nothing but clouds in all directions, and there was almost no difference, she lay down on the boat out of boredom and fell asleep. Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. They were still sailing in the clouds. Look, what is that? Suddenly, Huang Ling exclaimed in surprise. Lu Ming and Longchen also looked forward. There was a figure in the endless clouds. It was a huge figure. This figure was sitting cross-legged in the clouds. Its energy was as high as the sky, and it was incomparably huge. Endless clouds surrounded its body. This is... The 3 of them narrowed their eyes. The figure was too huge. Even a 10,000 feet tall mountain was like an ant in front of the figure. What a powerful sword essence! The closer they got, the more they felt that the figure was emitting a terrifying sword essence. It was as if it was going to split the heavens and earth. It was definitely a terrifying existence. However, the figure just sat there and did not move. No, it's an illusory figure. It's not real. Lu Ming looked carefully and suddenly said. He realized that the figure was not real. It was just an illusory figure. Huang Ling and Long Chun let out a long breath. The figure gave them too much pressure. It was definitely an unimaginable existence. It could probably kill them with a breath. If someone who cultivates the way of the sword comes here, it will definitely be a great opportunity. Huang Ling exclaimed. If someone who cultivates the way of the sword came here and comprehended the sword essence of the huge figure, they would definitely gain something. However, none of the 3 of them specialized in the way of the sword. Naturally, it was not of much use. The 3 of them drove the boat around the huge figure and continued to move forward. However, not long after, they encountered another figure. It was also huge and emitted an extremely rich metal element aura. For the 3 of them, it was not of much use. The 3 of them went around it. Chapter 1769. Could it be that these figures are the projections of the powerful existences of the Hunyuan sect? Huang Ling guessed. That's very likely. Lu Ming and Longchen nodded. The 3 of them continued to move forward. Suddenly, they saw a huge spirit rat in front of them. It's the space-time spirit rat. Lu Ming was shocked. He could tell at a glance that this huge spirit rat was the space-time spirit rat. The fact that the space-time spirit rat's figure appeared here meant that the real bodies of these figures were not necessarily alive in the world. Many of them might have already fallen. At this moment, Bubbles got up and looked at the huge space-time spirit rat's figure in a daze. Her eyes were filled with sadness. Suddenly, the space-time spirit rat's figure began to shrink rapidly. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and rushed towards Lu Ming. Its speed was unimaginable. Before Lu Ming could react, the ray of light rushed into Bubbles' forehead and disappeared. Bubbles' expression became serious. She sat cross-legged on the boat and began to cultivate. Her body emitted a mysterious aura and was surrounded by the law of space-time. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He knew that this was Bubble's opportunity. After that, the three of them continued to move forward. After another 2 days, they saw a huge elephant in the sky. It was roaring at the sky, and its aura was suppressing all directions. It was one of the top 10 battle beasts, the immemorial dragonesque elephant. Long Chun looked at the immemorial dragonesque elephant with full concentration. Finally, like the space-time spirit rat, the immemorial dragonesque elephant's figure shrank rapidly. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and disappeared into Long Chun's forehead. Long Chun closed his eyes and comprehended. He separated a part of his mind to control the boat and move forward with Lu Ming and the others. This vast and endless land seemed to have the projections of many powerful existences. Soon they encountered a huge phoenix. Its body was filled with immortal flames. This was one of the top 10 battle beasts, the immortal heavenly phoenix. The immortal heavenly phoenix's figure also turned into a ray of light and rushed into Huang Ling's forehead. Bubbles, Long Chun, and Huang Ling all obtained opportunities one after another. Lu Ming was also looking forward to it. What would he encounter? Would he encounter the 9 dragons figure? Another 2 days passed. It had been more than 20 days since they entered this place. Up ahead, a gigantic figure sat in the void with his legs crossed. His entire body was surrounded by a chaotic aura. This is the primal Chaos Emperor. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. The Chaos Emperor was also one of the 9 palace masters of the Hunyuan sect. The Chaos Emperor exuded a powerful and terrifying fluctuation of the law of primal chaos. Lu Ming stared at the Chaos Emperor's illusory figure. The law of primal chaos burst forth from his body and resonated with the Chaos Emperor's illusory figure. Sure enough, the figure of the Chaos Emperor shrank rapidly. Finally, it turned into a ray of light and rushed into Lu Ming's glabella. Lu Ming immediately closed his eyes as the phantom of a primal Chaos Emperor appeared in his mind, exuding a powerful aura of primal chaos law. A great opportunity. Lu Ming's eyes brightened. If he could use this phantom as a reference, the speed at which he comprehended the laws of primal chaos would increase greatly. He didn't expect that he would encounter such an opportunity after being brought here by the Hunyuan token. Lu Ming divided a small part of his attention to control the boat and continued to sail forward. Then, he quietly comprehended the Chaos Tribulation finger. Sure enough, with the Chaos Emperor's illusory figure in his mind as a reference, the speed at which he comprehended the Chaos Tribulation finger greatly increased. 7 days later, Lu Ming's Chaos Tribulation finger had reached 40% mastery. It had been a month since they entered this place. Rumble! A violent rumble came from up ahead. Lu Ming, Huang Ling, and Long Chun woke up from their cultivation at the same time. This was the first time they had heard such a violent sound since entering this place. The three of them looked forward. Not far away, there were flashes of lightning that covered the entire space. Suddenly, their expressions changed as they looked to the sides. They finally saw the others. They were all young people, both men and women. Each of them had an extraordinary aura. At a glance, they could tell that they were giants among men. These people were like Lu Ming and the others. Each of them was riding a small boat and sailing forward. A few of them glanced at Lu Ming, and the others coldly. However, they only glanced at them and looked forward. What powerful cultivation! Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Although he had only glanced at those people, they gave off a strong pressure. These people's cultivation was definitely not as simple as Bright Saints. They had probably surpassed Bright Saints and reached a higher realm. They continued to sail forward. The deafening sound in front of them became louder and louder. It was the sound of thunder. Endless lightning flashed in the void, blocking the path ahead. The test has finally arrived. But how can mere lightning stop me? A proud figure sounded. Lu Ming saw a young man with sharp eyes and a mouth like a goshawk's. He stood on a small boat and accelerated forward. When he approached the area of lightning, a terrifying power of lightning erupted from his body. Sizzle! The lightning between heaven and earth constantly bombarded that person. The power of lightning also erupted from that person's body. fighting against the lightning outside. He drove the boat and disappeared in the vast lightning in the blink of an eye. Is that person from the Thunder Clan? Huang Ling said with a solemn face. Thunder Clan. Lu Ming was curious. The Thunder Clan is an ancient clan. This ancient clan has been around for countless years and is extremely powerful. Their foundation is unfathomable. Even many of the powerful forces in the ancient Moon Holy Land are incomparable to this ancient clan. Huang Ling explained. Lu Ming nodded. Then, other people drove the boats and rushed toward the area of lightning. Suddenly, a scream was heard. A young man could not withstand the power of the lightning and was turned into ashes by the lightning. You're not a martial sage yet and you're here to die. A woman with a cold face said indifferently. Her figure disappeared in the sea of lightning. Not all the geniuses who entered here had powerful cultivation. Some of them had not become martial sages. This made a few young men pale, and they did not dare to go forward. However, most of the young men were fearless. They drove the boats and rushed into the sea of lightning to fight against it. A few of the young men exploded. Their auras were earth-shattering, shocking the others. Such powerful cultivation. This is the aura of an absolute saint. Huang Ling's eyes flashed with shock. One should know that these people were all very young. They were definitely under 50 years old and belonged to the younger generation. It was shocking that they had reached the absolute saint realm at such a young age. This time, many powerful geniuses from the primordial continent have entered. It's normal that there are absolute saints. Long Chun said. His expression was still calm. Let's go too. Lu Ming said. Chapter 1770. Rumble. Sizzle. Sizzle. As soon as they rushed into the sea of lightning, countless lightning bolts surged toward them, striking their heads and faces. Lu Ming's primal chaos law flowed around his body. His palms were like knives, constantly slashing out to disperse the lightning bolts. It's very powerful. Ordinary bright saints and the greater bright saints would find it difficult to resist. Lu Ming roughly knew the power of the lightning bolts after clashing with them. On the other side, Huang Ling's body was filled with undying flames, which condensed into a phoenix. The phoenix spread its wings and destroyed all the lightning bolts. Long Chen's attack method was similar to Lu Ming's. He punched out with both fists and destroyed the lightning bolts. As for Bubbles, she was the simplest. Her body was filled with the space-time law. When the lightning bolts struck the space-time law, they directly disappeared. That's the primal chaos law. In the space-time law, the other youths saw Lu Ming and Bubbles, and their faces became very grave. Lu Ming and the other three shuttled through the sea of lightning, resisting the lightning bolts as they moved forward. The sea of lightning was very large, but with the strength of Lu Ming and the other three, they could completely withstand it. After some time, they passed through the sea of lightning. As soon as they passed through the sea of lightning, they saw a huge platform in front of them, floating in the vast void. Looking from afar, there were some figures on the platform. Had they finally arrived? Their eyes lit up as they sped up, and soon arrived at the edge of the platform. As soon as they arrived at the edge of the platform, the boat under their feet automatically disappeared, and the four of them stepped onto the platform. So many people. Lu Ming looked around, and found that there were more than 1,000 people on the platform. All of them were young men and women, and each of them had an extraordinary aura. Some of them exuded powerful auras. Some of them were bright saints, some were great saints, and some were even absolute saints. However, there were even more people who had completely restrained their auras, giving others an unfathomable feeling. Lu Ming and the other three stepped onto the platform. Some people glanced at them, but more people sat cross-legged on the platform and closed their eyes to rest. There's a door there, Huang Ling said softly. Lu Ming and the others also noticed. In the depths of the platform there was a huge stone door. The stone door was tens of thousands of feet tall, but now, the stone door was tightly shut. Around the stone door was a vast void surrounded by clouds and mist. These young geniuses were probably waiting for the stone door to open. Lu Ming's group of four found an open space and walked over. Then they all sat down cross-legged, seizing the opportunity to cultivate and comprehend. In this place, geniuses were as common as clouds. He had to make the best use of his time to cultivate. If he could increase his strength, it might be of great use at a critical moment. There was complete silence on the platform. As time passed, more and more people came to the platform. The number of people on the platform increased. Not long after, the number had reached around 2,000, but it was still increasing. When the number of people reached around 3,000, almost no one came. Wang. At this moment, the huge stone door trembled slightly. Then it emitted a resplendent radiance. Following that, a figure condensed out of it. It was a white-robed old man with a kind face. Everyone, next, I will open the door and you will face the real test. However, I have to remind you that the test will be very dangerous. If you want to give up, just shout out loud, and I will send you back. The old man's voice spread throughout the place. However, everyone's eyes were firm. These young geniuses came from different regions, but there was no doubt that they were all terrifying and powerful geniuses. Being able to be recognized by the Chaos Origin token proved that they had unlimited potential. Therefore, these young geniuses were all proud and confident. How could they give up so easily? Open! After the white-robed old man finished speaking, he waved his hand, and a ray of light landed on the stone door. The stone door shook and slowly opened. Through the stone door, one could see that behind the stone door was another world, a verdant and lush world. Whoosh! Whoosh! As soon as the stone door opened, some people rushed over, as if they were afraid that others would beat them to it. Then more people rushed forward. The stone door was very large. Even if thousands of people rushed through it together, it would not seem crowded. Lu Ming and the others also blended into the crowd and rushed through the door. However, at this moment, a huge palm suddenly appeared in the sky in front of them and blasted down on a genius. The huge palm was as big as a mountain and covered the sky. The genius screamed in pain and was smashed into meat paste by the huge palm. Roar! Then with a loud roar, a towering giant ape jumped down from the sky. The earth shook and a genius could not dodge in time and was directly trampled to death. The palm just now came from this giant ape. The giant ape roared and slapped a pair of huge palms towards the others. We can't fight it head-on. Retreat! Someone roared and retreated frantically. Roar! Roar! Then there were continuous roars coming from the sky. Lu Ming felt his hair stand on end. A strong sense of danger shrouded him. Retreat! Lu Ming roared. With a roll of his sacred power, he brought Bubbles, Huang Ling, and Long Chen back quickly. Boom! Another giant ape appeared where Lu Ming and the others were just now. It roared into the sky and a murderous aura spread out. Bam! Bam! In the sky, there were constantly giant apes falling. These giant apes were thousands of feet tall and were bigger than a mountain. There were more than a dozen of them, and they covered the area. Their palms were constantly slapping at the geniuses. In the blink of an eye, a few more geniuses were slapped to death. Get lost, a bunch of trash! Someone shouted coldly and did not retreat. Instead, he rushed up and unleashed a shocking attack to fight against the giant apes. Boom! There was a loud explosion, and the giant apes were pushed back. That person turned into a ray of light and rushed out of the encirclement of the giant apes and disappeared. Swoosh! Lu Ming saw that it was a genius from the Thunder tribe. His hand grasped the air, and a terrifying and boundless power of lightning condensed into a palm. He easily pushed back a giant ape and broke through. What a strong power of lightning! Lu Ming exclaimed. The law of lightning was a very ordinary law. However, in the hands of the Lei clan, the might it unleashed was incomparably powerful. Destroy! A gray-robed youth with a terrifying aura of death slashed out with his palm. It turned into a terrifying saber and slashed out. It cut off the giant ape's palm and easily passed through the area. The law of death. Lu Ming's pupils shrank rapidly. During his time in the ancient Moon Holy Ground, he had learned a lot about the thousands of laws in the world. The law of death was an extremely terrifying law. It was as famous as the law of chaos, the law of space-time, and the law of reincarnation. It was one of the 10 strongest laws in the world. Those who mastered the law of death were known as the Son of Heaven, the Son of Death. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.